Hello.
Hey, what's
What's
up, guys?
What's up?
We
Friday.
are here with Operation Hustle. Happy Friday. And today's topic is all about your body and how you only get one. So I'm sure all of you guys know this quote, your
YOLO.
body is a temple. And that talks, in the Bible, it talks about how our body is a temple. We should treat it so. So that's kind of what we're going to talk about today is how we only get one body. And you can't get another one as of right now. There's no, way to just create
You
yourself
get
a
that
new body.
meta
yet,
body.
Right? So, Justin, do you want to transition us over?
Yeah, like Abby was saying, you get one body, treat it well. So we call this the life vehicle. And at any point in time, you can soup it up for free. If you do right, like some things right, you work out, you exercise, you eat right, you can turn your body into a supercar.
Oh, yeah. I like to use that metaphor all the time.
So, you don't have to buy the Ferrari. You just have to work for the Ferrari.
You fucking live in the Ferrari.
That's
Who
what I'm saying.
Who the fuck wants to buy a Ferrari? Yeah. Live in that
I mean, I kind of like to buy one.
Well, so Justin and I were watching something really interesting last night, Ollie. So on this new streaming platform, I was like, oh, that platform's for weirdos. And then I was like, you know what? This stuff has a lot of really good stuff on it. The Gaia, and I'm probably saying this wrong, but the Gaia platform, Gaia.
Gaia.
Really cool documentaries on there. So I started watching one last night on the brain and how they've actually figured out. They used to say that you damage your brain cells and you can't replace those. Well, they're now, finding out new research that an old dog can learn new tricks and you can actually repair those brain cells. But there's a very specific way in which they realize people are repairing those brain cells. So two of the main things that Justin and I, of course, clinged on to for today's topic of how you can repair those brain cells, create new ones, is discipline and high intensity interval training.
Oh, snap.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
If
you've done drugs and alcohol your whole life, start working out now so you can gain more brain cells. Yeah. But really, though, on a real note, that was insane watching that. I was like, wow, I can't believe this. So
they were saying anything that challenged you. So if you were to do crossword puzzles or Sudoku or one of these weird games, they did a study. If you put a timer on it, your performance is better. Because you have now a challenge and you grow more brain cells, like she was saying.
And another thing that interested me, it was talking about the fact that if you keep pushing yourself, striving yourself for more. Mm-hmm. So the people, and I'm just giving an example. So if this is one of you, don't feel like this is a personal attack. It's not. This is all about the documentary. So people who, don't have ambition, don't strive to move forward. Maybe they're in a job where they're literally not doing anything more than they're doing, they haven't tried to get a promotion. They haven't tried to get a raise. They haven't tried to get a new certification. They're just in the same spot, you know what I mean? Doing the same thing and they're not trying to strive better. And that might even be just they're trying to be better than they were last year. You know what I mean? If you're just trying to not to do anything better than you did at all the year before, you're not going to progress forward brain cognitive function wise, right? Yep. But if you are trying, and even if you're not in your job, but outside of your job, you're really trying to work on yourself, self-growth, personal skills, growth development, reading, all that stuff, that can still do the same thing, create new brain cells. Yeah. So I started thinking, that's awesome that we can do that. But unfortunately right now, we can't recreate new things. You can't recreate new arteries. They can give you artificial body parts.
I don't always in that heart though. The thing,
right?
This thing looks like a freaking jet engine.
There is a list of people who actually need this. They're not going to just give away, free hearts and free lungs to people who have decided to damage their bodies due to being obese and not working on themselves. They're going to get it to that young 9-year-old kid that was born with something that they couldn't help. So there's a wait list. Right. But there's not a wait list on how to fix your brain cells. That's something you can do literally right now. Right. So it just coincides with today's topic because, you only get one body. Your body is a vehicle and you need to treat it like a temple because unfortunately at this point in time, not yet, we cannot replace the body. But you can get yourself in a better place. The good thing is that you can become a different person. And that's kind of what the documentary was talking about. We can become a different person at any point in time. We have the power to do that.
Yeah.
We have the power to change tomorrow and be a brand new person.
ET, dude.
I agree, and I want to throw out
There's a bunch of
a
guys.
DJ Trump quote.
Oh
Okay,
God.
actually, yeah, I just heard this
Uh-oh.
recently on the.
Here we go. We're gonna get
TikTok feed.
taken down.
Very credible. Very credible. It's really credible. It's the most credible you've ever seen. But anyway, she said, "My father had a saying, you know, if you retire, you expire." And I watched this banker.
Ooh.
This banker, he
Yes.
could pass a $5 billion transaction without having to talk to anyone. Okay, very big deal. Okay, he retired within the next year. I watched him age from 50 to 75. It was insane.
Yeah,
But,
literally.
If you don't
legit,
use it, you
that
lose
was
it,
an
baby.
anecdote
That's how it
from him.
goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he legit. He said like that guy aged
Yeah.
immediately.
So the
like
crazy
you stop growing, and guess what? Your body realizes that
Oh, that's
mentally
it,
you
dude.
haven't developed, and it's like,
Yes.
okay, we can stop.
Yeah,
We
we're
can
done
die
here.
now.
Right.
We
So
don't-
it coincides with so
Crazy.
many different like philosophies that we talk about here on this podcast. Like, right, like you say you're a loser, you're gonna become a loser, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and the other thing is that I read this I have this app called Headway. I think it's called Headway, where you can read different parts of different books. It's just to help kind of get you remotivated into reading and stuff. And I had read a book and I think it's called Anti-Fragility is what I told you.
Yeah.
Is that the humans, right? We think that we need to relax. Like we're like striving for this like perfect life where like all we do is we live in comfort, where
Yeah.
there's no stress, there's, everything's perfect. When in reality, if we were to do that, just as Ollie would say, with this guy, with this banker, if we were to live in a perfect life, there was no stress, we were constantly
Yeah,
comfortable,
Big old blob of fat.
we would just become,
Sitting
expired. Our brain would
Yeah.
have nothing to strive for anymore. We would have nothing to push forward anymore. Like you would just see yourself declining in all areas of your life. So although that we think that, because I'm sure all of us can find a time, I'm sure just literally this week, where you feel burnt out and you're like, I'm
Today.
tired today, as right before this podcast, where you feel tired and burnt out and you're like, I can't do this. But then there's this tiny voice in my head. Like, yes, you can.
Yeah.
All you have to do is get through today, get through today, get
There's
through today.
a book I'll reference. It's a really easy read. It's called Thomas the Train. I think I can.
Legit.
As
Wow,
simple as it
that's
gets.
powerful though.
So this
Yeah.
little train,
But seriously, 'cause
all
it's
he had to do
basic.
was say, I think I can. I think I can. I think I can.
And
He
that's
just
what
kept
I've been
moving
doing this
his
whole week.
ass.
I can.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because again, this mantra, this philosophy is used, all over the world. And one thing I thought about is that, and I've talked about this before, I'm very open. I'm not ashamed. I am, an alcoholic, and I'm going on my 6th year of sobriety, and I did go through AA. And one of the things that is really important about AA is they don't tell you, and I tell clients this too with nutrition, same thing. Food addiction is the same thing as a drug addiction, as an alcoholic addiction. It's all very powerful addiction in general.
Yeah.
But that in AA, they don't say if you walk in and say, I want a drink. Generally, the people in AA or your sponsor is going to say, all right, they're not going to tell you don't have the drink. They're going to say, all right, I want you to tell yourself you can have the drink in an hour. And if you still have the thought in an hour, and sometimes, and that changes for different people who have, stronger addictions. There might be somebody that literally feels that, minutes at a time. And so they're going to say, listen, I'm going to coach you through this. You just need to get through 1 minute. You get through the minute. You need to get through another minute. And they're like, because coming off of legit, super hardcore drugs, that's what it does to you. Your brain is just completely warped.
Yeah.
So it's fighting that addiction. It's fighting that stronger power in your head telling you need it when you don't. But so it's just saying to yourself, I just need to get through one day. So it goes with the same thing with Thomas the Tank. Yes, I can.
He's a
Yes,
tank,
I can.
dude.
Yes,
He made
I
it
can.
to a tank. That's
I don't need the
baller.
drink. I don't need the drink. I can get up. I can
Yeah.
get through this. I can get through work. I'm tired, but if I push through, I push through. And brand new parents do the same thing
Oh, yeah.
when they have
Yeah.
babies. Like everybody just gets extremely exhausted. It's a big, huge change. I can do this. I can do this. They need me. They need me. They need me.
Yeah.
And it's insane how powerful the human body is. But we continually see these clients come through our door and not be able to push themselves through, or I just can't do it. And they could just come in with excuses, and we have to constantly find ways to help them, because personal training has become not just personal training. We're not just standing there counting your reps. We're not just standing there telling you how to work out. We're
Yeah.
actually trying to help you make behavioral changes to help you find success, which not every personal trainer does. I will say that. But at our gym, that's something that we try to do, because we all have experiences, the team that we have created, in which we can relate to this. I myself
It's more
included.
mental than anything.
Yeah.
When it comes down to it, like your brain moves your body, and if you don't have the right mindset, you ain't gonna move. You're gonna be like lazy. It's easy to be lazy.
Mhm.
Yeah. And there's going to be
Really
downfalls,
easy to be
like
lazy.
even in AA, like one of the things is like, if you end up having a relapse, it's okay. The first thing that they actually do, I kid you not, this is crazy. They will come to your house and they will drag you out of your house in the middle of you being drunk and drinking, grab the bottle out of your hands and bring you to a meeting while you're drunk. Even if you're not
Yeah.
catching much of what's going on in the meeting, it's about being around your other fellow AA people that don't judge you, that are, and you're hearing about, the discipline and, what it does, and these stories of like how they don't miss going back. And like, fortunately for myself, I have never had to go be dragged into a meeting still drunk. But I do remember having a
good.
downfall where I went to Gasparilla and I drank and I felt really bad. And one of my fellow AA members had went and brought me to go get my car and brought me to a meeting, was like, you need to come to 2 meetings today. You need to. And I did. And I followed everything that these people told me. And I honestly give them all the credit. Yes, I give myself credit and God because I prayed a lot, but these people were my powerhouse.
Yeah.
And that, I see the same sort of similarities with us and these clients. Like, we are their powerhouse, just continuing to remind them, you can.
Yeah, you are who you surround yourself with. So like that, like you guys are in the same group, you all want the same goals. And that's like the same thing with our gym. They all come in, they all want to reach these goals. We put them in the right mindset. We are always encouraging them. We're never bringing them down. Of course, they're going to come and make some progress.
Yeah, there's an energy to like-minded people. And I think, your environment and what you surround yourself is extremely important, especially when you surround yourself with something as powerful as a human being. Because you don't really, a lot of people don't think of this, but because you walk by people every day, it's pretty insignificant. Like, let's say you live in a city area where you commute to work via a walk. Let's say you're in New York City, right? You're walking by hundreds and hundreds or thousands of people every day.
Yeah.
But the people that you allow to get close to you in your life hold immense levels of power that you don't even realize. But like that amount of energy that they dedicate to you, you reciprocate, and that flow of like-mindedness is so integral. I think it's really a missed point in a lot of people's lives, that understanding the importance of your relationship,
Of fellowship.
It's huge
With the right people.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. And I'm going to give this experience, this is a new experience starting this week, that I actually started with my sister. So shout out to my sister, Allie. But we started a program together that I created for her. And I was going to just create it for her. And then I started to do some self-reflection and a little bit of a personal inventory, which that word is also used in AA. Do a personal inventory. What's going on in your life?
Check
And
yourself.
it's all about accountability. And I checked myself.
Yourself.
And when I did the personal inventory, I was like, I haven't been pushing myself in my workouts pretty much since my breast surgery. And I really need to get honed in. Like, I need that feeling again, where when I push myself, I drop that serotonin, that dopamine. That doesn't mean I'm not like, oh, fuck this while I'm doing it. Yes, of course it sucks and I push through it. But knowing that she's also going to do the same workout, and I want to chat with her and be like, what did you think? What did you think? And you know what I mean? Like, sending each other little videos like, oh, just
Well, it's
to
a
the first
challenge
round,
too. You
help
guys are on
me.
the same program, but
Yeah.
at the same time, you're competing a little bit.
Or not even
like
it's just
being
more about like,
competitive.
I just want to know what she thinks. And it's like, like, did you think it was difficult? Oh, let's intensify this together. And it's created this new, knowing that she's also going to do it. So if I don't tell her I did it, I'm gonna
It's accountability.
disappoint her, you know what I mean? Or I'm gonna feel like a failure. That here I am as her big sister giving her this program, and I said I'm gonna do with her, and I'm not. And that, like, in itself is helping me like stay accountable and hold myself to the workout and finish it out. Like, I didn't want to do the last round. I was like, oh, I don't have enough time. And then I was like, you know what? That's a bullshit excuse you would have said before. You do have enough time. That just means you're gonna have to cut down the time you'd put, doing your hair. So leave your hair up, finish the workout, and stop being a little
We have a
bitch.
rule at our gym. If it's on the board, it shall be done.
If
Be
it is
done.
written,
It
shall
must be done. So if we write it down, and we even during the middle of the workout when we're hating this shit, it sucks, especially a leg day. I know Ollie knows this. We've done plenty of leg days that
Love
they're great, but they're torturous.
They suck.
And
Yeah.
mid workout, we look at that board and we're like, yo, we could just like etch out one of those
No.
workouts. And then we're like, nah, dude, don't be a
I'm not
bitch.
gonna lie, I
Finish
mean,
the damn
damn
workout.
board.
This is the third workout I've done from the program that I've created for her, and like my arms are Play-Doh.
But you have when you have it mapped out, instead of just like free for alling it, which you can free fall for a little bit, but you like without a plan, you're on a path to nowhere.
Yeah.
Right.
So like,
So-
and especially like whenever you're establishing that plan, I think it's integral that you understand where you're at, and the level of intensity that you need to pursue, because that's one of those key words that you brought
Yeah.
up while you were describing, your workouts with your sister was intensity. It's huge, and you got to realize that intensity is only ever brought about by you. Like, the level of intensity that you're going to be able to put out is directly correlative to the level of commitment and understanding you have for how important the act you are performing is. So specifically with workouts, if you go into the workout and you're like, oh, I'm gonna move around some weights today, I guess, and maybe I'll do some planks or whatnot, that's going to be a bullshit workout, and honestly it's going to affect you negatively. Like,
I've done them
going on.
I've had those days where I'm just like, well, I'll just do this, and it's like, it's not the same.
Yeah, and sometimes it just requires a little bit of recalibration, and looking into why that intensity is lacking. And sometimes maybe you need to change up the workouts. Maybe you need to focus on a different muscle group. Maybe that part is exhausted. Maybe you need to change your workout from a physical one more so into a mental one, so that way it stays engaging and you can maintain your intensity. But I think overall, like, the most important thing is to understand how important every moment that you're using, especially if you're working out, actually is, because you should be enjoying your workout. You should be pushing yourself. That's your developmental time. And I say this all the time. Workouts, and specifically like personal training, I think it's far more mentally based than it is physically based.
100%.
Like, the best transformations are mental transformations.
It definitely is, because, I actually had a client yesterday who was just telling me about, epiphanies she's had. And I've had clients tell me this, recently a lot about epiphanies that they've had about themselves, due to this, fitness journey, and definitely with this meal plan. But just, it was very interesting hearing what she noticed about herself when she started cleaning up everything. She started feeling healthier. It's crazy how negative habits will actually make us almost blind to other parts that we need to be held accountable to ourselves. And what I mean by that is, like, I'm going to give you an example. Like, let's say, it's not just a bad diet and not working out, but you're also a drinker. And so that mental clarity isn't there. And so you're not able to see, like, maybe something like, oh, hey, like, I noticed that, around certain types of personalities, like, I get, how do I say this? I cower down and I get kind of almost like embarrassed, or, I get, insecure. Right. So insecurity, that's what I was thinking of.
And your inhibitions lower at
Right.
that point.
So, but like, when you start to have all that mental clarity, that brain plasticity, right? We're making new brain cells just from that, documentary I started watching, with this intensified workouts, high intensity workouts, you start to realize these things. And then it was like, when I watched this documentary last night, I was like, boom, there it is. That's why these people have these epiphanies, these revelations about themselves. That's why they're able to, perform better in different areas of their life when they start putting nutrition and exercise together, because that is required of us, high intensity workouts and discipline, to create brain plasticity, new brain cells.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I honestly think that the body is a true indicator. It's like a roadmap to life. If you can analyze and take down like notes as far as what the differences are in your body, what the advancements are, what the improvements are, what the weaknesses are of your own body, you can kind of roadmap out where that connects to you mentally, where that connects to you spiritually, because all of these things are associated to something else within your life. It's all interconnected. So if you have a roadmap to, like, oh, I'm drinking a lot, that says that you're adding some form of stimulant because you don't feel mentally stimulated in other ways. So if you need to add that stimulant, which is a depressant, it has different factors that say, oh, you get tipsy, guess what? Your inhibitions loosen, and now you feel like you can go out and dance, which normally you couldn't dance. Why couldn't you dance before? Well, maybe you were insecure. Why are you insecure? You don't love your body. Yeah. Maybe you need to work out.
Well, that's the thing, is that so many people don't want to actually look at themselves and face the hard truths. But the hard truth here is, circling back to the main theme here, is that you get one body. Right. So, and we say this all the time, is that we're always so shocked when people are willing to throw money at cars, new purses, new houses, Amazon purchases that they make stupidly every week, Chick-fil-A, going out to eat, wine, this, that, it's insane. But yet, you only get one body. And if one thing deteriorates, it can literally make you, it
could kill you.
It could kill you. It could just make you literally paralyzed. It could, you could make you bedridden, and yet we still don't take it seriously.
I got a scenario for everyone. Imagine if at birth you were given a Honda Civic, brand new, 0 miles. Okay. Oh. And you get this one Honda Civic for the 100 years you're going to live. How well will you treat it? I guarantee your ass is going to be changing that oil on time every time. You're going to put the best gas in it. You're going to wash it. You're going to clean it. You're going to do everything. to keep that vehicle running so you can go and do
Again,
things.
that's under the assumption that you could never save enough money to get a different vehicle. Like
No, I'm
if
just
the
saying-
world just
this is a
revolved around
scenario.
No,
only
this
getting
is-
one vehicle.
It's
It's
a
a scenario.
hypothetical.
Yeah,
yeah.
no, I'm just making this
Yeah.
clear because of course people are like,
Okay.
oh, well, I could just buy another one.
Well, that's why it's a scenario.
I know, but I'm just saying.
Because if you only get that one car, like you're gonna make it last,
Mhm.
unless
Yeah.
you're a dumbass.
Yeah, and
For the most part. Yeah.
to further add to that, everyone knows like when it rains, it pours. What that means is whenever you have like any sort of mechanical issue, let's relate it to the car. Let's say your suspension starts to go a little wonky, starts to go out. It's going to affect other parts in the system.
Yeah.
So you can view that and you can like apply that to your body. Any part of your body that's starting to act up, it's going to have an impact on the surrounding structures. And that,
Oh, yeah.
exactly. And that's going to be like exactly like Kyle was saying before, like it's a roadmap.
Yeah.
That impact on surrounding structures is often like it's correlated to everything.
And another
sure.
thing that
100%.
drives me nuts is that
How
when
did-
people start to go through different things. I'm just going to give an
Getting
example, like
repetitive.
an autoimmune disorder, right? Like their first thing to do, and I'm not saying it's wrong, like it's just like run to the hospital, run to the doctor. But then when they go home, they start doing their same old patterns. And I feel better. I'm gonna go back to drinking heavily every single night. I'm gonna have 2 glasses of wine every single night. I'm gonna not exercise, not work out, come home, watch TV, not further develop anything. And then they're confused why they have an autoimmune disorder. I mean, there's so many studies that prove that stress, not taking care of your body, is actually so toxic for the inside of our bodies. And yet there's so much things like autoimmune disorders that we really don't have actual answers for as to where they come from, how we can prevent them, really how they start, like none of that. They're still doing research on that. So my thing is, what's the worst that can happen? You cut all these things out and you have a healthier lifestyle and you feel better. I mean, at that point, like if I was, had an autoimmune disorder that led me to the hospital, like that would be quick for me. I'd be like, I got to change my entire life, but there's just still so many people that aren't at that point. And I think that's what we really need to focus on with clients is just figuring out how to get them to that point. Because sometimes
It's a
we win
change
and
them mentally.
sometimes we lose. Sometimes there's people where I really feel I can't touch. And that always breaks my heart is like, I'll be stumped and I'm like, I've given them really everything I have. And I'm not really sure I actually am the person that they need. They might need a different, professional, a counselor. They might need, a psychiatrist or, somebody to just help them on a different route before they can take this route. But I think that's the key to, just life is figuring out how to really help the people that aren't on that wavelength of like, oh my God, I need to change everything now. This is important. Those people that don't have that feeling like, oh my God, that oh shit moment, no rock bottom. How do we reach them?
I think, unfortunately, it does have a lot to do with the vision that everyone has promulgated throughout our society of what a happy life is. Happy life is Lamborghinis, Bugattis, girls on tap, blah, 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 like champagne and bullshit.
Girls on tap.
Hey,
I mean,
that's a rapper
Are you
lifestyle.
single
It's
man
getting
out
promoted,
there?
man.
Figured-
Yeah.
good.
Well, hey, let's say men on tap. Wop, guys. Wop.
Oh God. So
number one hit song in the world.
You made me remember that one client had told me recently that she just felt down and we got to talking and she felt numb and then we got to talking more and we kind of figured, narrowed it down to like her feeling like monotonous, like
Mhm.
Groundhog Day type stuff. You wake
Yeah.
up, it's Groundhog Day, you do it again, it's Groundhog Day, you do it again, it's the same old routine. And I looked at her and I said, well, that's what life is all about. Unfortunately, you can't take insane adventures and spontaneity every single day. We are programmed to be disciplined. We are programmed to be structured. And when we're not, that's when things are going wrong. So who's to say that maybe feeling numb is happy?
Yeah.
You can do
But
small
also-
adventures like
Also, the question
Yeah.
is, why did that numbness occur? Is it that she doesn't love what she's doing every day? And what is the factor that needs to change within her system? Because my question
I
whenever it
think
comes
that
to
we're
that,
obsessed with being happy.
exactly. So
but-
you're sold on a vision, but that
Right.
vision is not, it's not come from yourself.
Right.
I have a feeling that she's honestly like being exposed to a lot of Instagram stuff, a lot of Facebook stuff. It's a vision of life that's not suited for you. Like you need to delve within, find within what the vision for life is, and then start to execute and work towards that. But unfortunately, everyone has all these external sources,
There's-
constantly playing in front of them on these.
well, everybody
screens.
fakes their life online.
Exactly.
most
But you
people.
need to find
I
like
mean-
what's your meaning, what's your purpose inside. It doesn't exist here.
You can
Yeah.
do small things. Like
Yeah.
I found myself, we got this bird now. He lives in our backyard and he's there every day.
Yeah.
And I
He tries to get
Might
in
sound
the
crazy,
house.
but I think it's Abby's dad.
He
being
tries to get
crazy.
in the house every single day. Okay,
Dude.
the bird doesn't learn. It started in November and he flew into the door and was like weird. I was like, what the hell is going on? And I was like, maybe he saw his reflection, whatever. He came back 1 month later, did the same thing. And
No,
he's
he's
like
back
looking
every
around how to get in the
day.
house.
It's the homie now.
Now it's
hang out with him.
increased to every day he tries to get in the house.
Yeah.
Every day. He's
It's pretty
looking,
dope.
how does he get in? And then
I
he
tried to let him
sits-
in too, and he wouldn't come in.
No, but he
So
sits
he's just,
and
like,
he just
playing with us.
watches over the house. And it's the same bird, I'm telling you. But now he won't
Yeah,
leave.
and
Every
it's a
single day.
mockingbird. So, but now, so like why I talked about this is like you can do small little things. Like I find myself outside just hanging out with that fucking bird now, just
Yeah.
like chilling on my like break between work shifts. I'm like, man, I don't want to go to bed. I don't want to like think about much. I'm gonna go outside and go hang out with the homie.
Are you
Get some
sure you don't
sunlight.
have termites?
Possibly. He's like, yo, they're invading the house. They're all over.
There's a lot of food
But
in
what
this
his
house.
thing
It could be.
is that like, and I agree, it's giving me this like newfound like I don't know peace to be
Mhm.
outside and see
Yeah.
what he's doing.
You don't have to go to fucking
Yeah.
Japan to like have a good time. Like you could literally take a walk around your block, and that could be your adventure for the day.
Yeah.
We still have to go to work. We still have to do all these things, but you can find these small areas of time because everybody has the same 24 hours. Find an area of time, 10, 15 minutes, just to unplug, walk around, and be in nature. That's where we were meant to be,
Yeah.
not in these dwellings with all this electricity, phones, screens. We need like the disconnect.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And even if you have like these big extravagant trips where you go and explore these new places,
Which is
people aren't-
epic and amazing.
Oh, it's awesome.
I'm not saying don't do
Like,
it. You just can't do it all the
Yeah.
fucking time.
Highly recommendable. But the point is to immerse yourself in a different culture or a different
Yeah.
surrounding so that way you can step back and gain a new perspective. The point is still a mental point. Like you still it's a reprieve, it's a relaxation.
Yeah.
There are other ways to find it. It's just you need to be able to tap into that.
sure.
Which I think a lot of people neglect. You need to focus on. And it's really easy to neglect because this is your escape. But
Yeah.
when you're looking at this, it's just occupying your mind. You're not working on your mind.
You're not escaping your mind actually.
It's
exactly.
literally
Just
blinding
occupying
you
it
to the
more.
real world.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
insane. It's like a fog. It's up here. You
Mhm.
can't see shit around you. You don't really hear shit because you're so focused on what's on that dumbass screen. Everybody does it. I do it.
Mhm.
And I've
blind
been leaving my phone inside when I hang out with that bird.
Well, so I want to end it with this. So, we're going to tie it right back to the fact that, hey, your body is a temple. You only get one. This is your life vehicle, so you need to treat it like that. So if you're not currently, it is time for you to take a personal inventory and think about why you're not. And what are some things that you control? And if you have all sorts of health conditions that you can't, attack all at once, what is one that you'd like to focus on? Are you on high cholesterol medication? Is that something that you can focus on right now? Small steps. But my sister did tell me about this app called Dailyo, which does help you habit track if you're not a pen to paper person. But there are some cool habit tracker calendars on Amazon, so go check those out.
You should be pen to paper people, though. It does help you retain.
It does
notes
help you
way
retain
better.
notes way better.
Way,
But
way
if you
better.
are somebody that needs that alarm, that reminder on your phone, because you wear your Apple Watch or you look at your phone often, check out that app. Start doing a personal inventory. What are small steps that you can do to take control of your life? And think about if you tomorrow were bedridden because you didn't take care of your body, how would you feel? And start with that, because that will start to bring you to your emotional why. And it will start to bring, when you have an emotional why, a strong feeling of that, oh shit moment. I got to do something now.
If you
And
need
that's how
help
you provoke it.
physically or mentally, hit us up, www.absfitnesstrainer.com.
Find us on Instagram at
We can
Abs
change
Fitness.
yo life.
Yes, we can. Find us on Instagram at absfitness_Brandon, Florida. Facebook, Abs Fitness LLC.
YouTube, Abs Fitness Film House,
Woo.
and TikTok, Abs Fitness Tampa.
Bye, guys.
We out. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Adios.